Welcome to Fort Grit Diamonds in the Rough, where we dive deep into vibrant stories of triumph in Fort Smith, in a city that demands grit. We celebrate the spirit of success against all odds. Join us as we uncover inspiring narratives, exploring the journey, the rough diamonds to gleaming success stories. We are back at it again, guys. Fort Grit Diamonds in the Rough, and today we have two exciting guests today with us. We have Hannah Slack and Jeff Slack.
What's up, guys?
Good to have you guys here today, man.
Yeah, we're so excited to finally get you guys in the studio.
Glad to be here.
Yeah. I'm excited about this one because there's a lot of dynamics to this relationship. Not even just business. But what? Not even just business, but there's a lot of dynamics to this. I mean, like business and eating right, and I mean, if I feel like you are this like book of knowledge, like you're like onions, just like peel back the layers and over, and like you'll never get to what you're going because you know a lot of things, and Hannah's knowledgeable about everything, and I really feel like. Not to like kiss y'all's ass or anything. Well, I wouldn't mind. Your ass is looking really good these days, but I mean, you guys are the power couple. I do. I really think so. I mean, you guys are great. So, to kind of start things off, I wanted to play a little game with you guys, kind of get to know y'all as a couple. How long have you guys been married?
Don't ask me.
Oh, so we already know who the sentimental one in this relationship.
I don't know about
you
that.
Said we're
but
gonna
he just
fail this
remembers
test.
things.
You did say that y'all were
It was
gonna
May
fail.
11th, 2020.
See, you don't even know.
So.
Did y'all get married during COVID?
Almost 4 years.
Almost 4
4
years.
Oh, it was after COVID.
Oh,
Okay,
no.
y'all got married 2 months after I did.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I got
I
married
think that's
March
right,
of
yeah.
2020 during COVID and all that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's the only reason why I know, because it was COVID.
So 4 years in May. Write it down.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
4
a
years
big,
in May.
4 years. That's a big,
11th.
11th. May
that's
11th.
a big, yeah. That's
that's
good.
good.
That's
I
good.
do.
Oh, well,
How
you
long-
got an 11 tattooed on you?
So
She's
you
like,
guys-
where? Let me go find it. And by the way, okay, so
Okay.
you've done majority of her tattoos, right? If not
lot.
all of them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that back piece, which is, got it finished finally. How many years did that take?
Oh, it took me a minute.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It was
and then you got a
torture.
new one
Yeah,
on
it's
your
dope.
neck.
I like it.
Yes.
May
I
to
love
finish
that.
Thank
I
you.
love that.
You did my
Yeah.
tattoos too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but you did.
you did.
Sorry,
Sorry,
Mom.
Mom.
No, it's great. I love it. I love the work. I love the aesthetic. Honestly, y'all's wedding pictures were out of a magazine. It was beautiful. Y'all just look
Yeah.
good together.
Thank
Did y'all get
you.
told that? I mean, just like
We
that.
don't, hang out,
Him.
we don't hang out with a lot of people.
We don't hang out with a lot of people
He
that
tells
really
us
brag about how well y'all look. Huh?
We
Should
really
invite me
don't.
around more often, damn it. I've been
Yeah.
trying to hang out.
Yeah,
Nobody
we've
will
been busy,
invite me
man.
over.
Yeah, we ain't doing a lot of hanging out these days.
I get
We'll
it. You
go
guys
once a
are
week.
busy.
We'll go once a week and hang out for about an hour.
Wouldn't got to be in bed by like 7.
Oh, I, go to
I stayed out
bed.
till
Oh,
midnight
yeah.
last night, and I
9.
thought I'm a
Ooh.
wild bitch.
Yeah, midnight's. That's the tipping point.
That's the tip, right?
If I
Yeah.
don't go to sleep before midnight, then I'm like up the rest of the night.
Yeah. Well, no, it's the
For real, I
same.
can't sleep.
So being an artist, is it hard to shut your brain off to really process and
I
go
don't
to
know if it's
bed?
because I'm an artist, but
I mean, most
me in
creative people
general,
are like
it
that.
just doesn't.
Doesn't
shut
ever
up.
His
stop.
brain doesn't
It
stop.
Doesn't
shut
stop.
up.
It don't stop.
Never.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
been my whole life with a carousel of. I mean, some nights I'll go to sleep and I'll be so like last night. I don't remember what song it was. Sometimes there'll just be a section of a song overlapping and playing in my head all night.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I understand what you're
Same
saying.
with me too, man. Like,
It's just like why?
yeah.
Why does it? And it's just like
I'm
a
like-
song that doesn't even. I don't even listen to it.
It's like not even relevant to
Yeah, I
your.
think Morgan
yeah.
Wallen was playing like in
Morgan Wallen?
Yeah, like I don't even know, dude. Just I'm like, where the hell I listen to Morgan Wallen at? And then
Yeah.
when I wake up, it's
Hey,
still going, dude.
He's like, last night we hit the
Oh.
liquor store. Just walk around. Is that
Real.
just on a replay all night
Yeah,
long?
for real. I don't know what it is. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It just
Is it
Start
just with
playing.
like random things, or can it be? I mean, do you get fixated on something
about
quite a
a
bit,
project or something like that. Sometimes I do. It's a lot better now.
like
because
hyper
I've
focus?
Been fixated on like so many things. It's
Yeah.
almost so overwhelming that I've had to train myself to not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, fall down that hole too much, I guess.
Yeah. We've talked a lot about, just variouses of like mental health and things like that.
It
And
just takes a lot of energy.
it does. And I relate a lot because I've expressed to you how things that I've struggled with my mental health and things. And I love that you guys are so open about that on a public forum, because I think it's really easy for outside looking in to see, you know, on a social platform or just even knowing you to assume things are great,
yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
we've talked about that. I mean, looking at you and your businesses and your social media and what you have going on, it's like, oh, this girl's doing the damn
Gonna
thing.
look like one thing,
Yeah, and it's and it does. I'm like,
Mhm.
I've always said, you know, Hannah's like, she's top tier, you know, and with you as well too. It's like your business and everything, and then you get hit with this. Well, no, here's really what it is, and I love that because it also makes people feel as if, okay, I'm not the only one, and if they can work and do this and maintain this certain level of success, even on days that are bad, you know, you give that hope to other people too. So I'm
Well,
really
it's also about, like, I don't want to be walking around town and people thinking that I can always be, oh, hey, how are you?
Yeah.
Because it ain't like that at
so
all.
with you, that is one thing
It ain't
I've
like
had
that at
to gracefully learn with you, and
Some
I've told
people
Lloyd
expect
this
that.
before. Is like every time I see Hannah, it's like, I don't know if she likes me or if she doesn't like me, because sometimes you are, and
I
that's
think the same thing too.
oh well. I'm gonna go ahead and just tell you she doesn't like you. I'm sorry. I hate to do that on camera, but it's time for you to
We
know.
talk about that a lot in therapy.
right. My mom always says that she loves me. She just doesn't like me, and there's
Oh, yeah.
there's that
My
difference.
mom
There-
doesn't remember who I am, so it
Oh,
doesn't matter.
well, hey, there you go. Gotta love the.
She did say one day that she said, you can't be married to him. I'm married to him. I said, you have it.
We're like, hey, you need to go fix what I'm trying to, fix over here. Damn it. But it's true. It's like I feel like, you know, you guys are so open about that, and not even just with the skim of it, but you go into grave detail about how you feel. So when you came out about your mental health struggles and things of that, I said, oh, okay, that's why. And I get that.
It was bad too.
Yeah.
It got real bad after I had competed in that bodybuilding show last April. I went mentally insane.
Really?
After it.
And I definitely want to touch on that. And we were going to play a game, but the conversation's too good. We may save that for later, because I'm loving where this is going. So let's kind of start back from the beginning a little bit. Jeff, where are you from?
Fort Smith.
Fort Smith, born and raised here?
Yep.
Okay. And tell me a little bit about your childhood. Did you go to school here? What was your
I went to,
dynamic
like,
at home
three
like?
different elementary schools. I went to Albert Pike, then Sunnymead, then Sutton, then Kimmons,
I
then
went to Sutton.
Northside.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
graduated in 2005.
Okay. You're a
And I
year.
pretty much didn't have any kind of job before I
Mhm.
started tattooing. I mean, I worked at FedEx for a minute, and then I built cylinder heads for cars for like 6 months, and then I started my apprenticeship when I was 20 years old.
doing
Wow.
tattoos.
I've been tattooing ever since.
Is anybody else in your family creative like that? Do they draw, or like where do you,
No.
where you get that from?
Yeah, where's
No.
that come from?
I don't know.
He was kind of the only one. Very, very small family, only
Okay.
child.
Yep.
Only child.
I was the only child, and then I just grew up with all senior citizens. I had no cousins, no
Wow.
brothers, no sisters.
Like that explains it.
no,
I know.
they're all
really
old.
does.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
he drives 10 miles
Everybody
an
was
hour.
everybody was 70 years old except for my mom. My mom had me when she was 44.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow,
Okay.
really?
Do you come
Wow.
from was your parents married growing up,
No.
or was your mom a single
Just my
mom?
mom.
So it was just y'all two.
Just my mom, my grandpa, and my grandmother.
And were they big influences in your life? Yeah.
Especially my grandpa. He's like my dad.
Yeah,
pretty much.
yeah.
Yeah.
Where is your dad? Do you know your dad?
He just
Is your dad?
died
Oh.
like last year. So I have two half brothers.
Okay.
One of them lives somewhere around here, and then the other one lives in California. And the dude that lives in California, Brian, reached out to me last year whenever
Just
he
kidding,
had
guys. Oh,
died.
it's my watch.
Might be my dad calling.
It's
No,
right
it's
from
Leela.
Your dad gone?
That's not true, Jeff. God, Jeffrey, damn it.
But yeah, he died at his house. I probably saw him. I don't know. I remember maybe 3 or 4 times when I was
Really?
growing up. Yeah, I mean the last time I saw him might have been 12-year-old, 13-year-old, something like that.
Yeah.
But he died, and then my brother reached out, and he's living in California. He's a lawyer,
Wow.
and I hadn't talked to him in a long time. None of us really had a close relationship with my dad.
Did y'all know about each other growing up? Your half
Oh
siblings?
yeah. I mean, we there's pictures of us.
Oh, okay.
You know, when I was little.
Mhm.
But I think the last time I saw him or my brothers were like 6, 7 years old. something
Wow.
like that.
Wow.
Yeah. That's and it's really weird to know you have family out there, like and half brother, but it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, you
don't
growing up
know.
with your mom, when did I can draw. I this creative part of you. When did that start to kind of present
It's
itself?
always been there.
Always.
I've always liked music, and I've always drawn.
Yeah.
And entered
Was
drawing
that your
contests
coping?
and with what?
Well, I mean, just like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, just coping with,
I
being,
didn't think of it as that.
I don't
that's
think
a-
he even realized
No.
that he had things to cope with until we got into
older.
therapy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. It's, well, because you don't know what you have if you've never had it. Like that's what I always said about my sons. Like, he didn't realize he was missing a dad until he got older, seeing other people with dads. Like, because it was normal for him to just be with me all the time,
Well, and
It was-
also, kids need their dads. Just as
they
much as
do,
their moms.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Because there's a
Especially
role I
boys.
can't fill. Yeah, I can't be a dad to my son. It's not in my DNA. It's not
Right.
it's not
I'm
the way
always
it's supposed to
seeking
go.
out some sort of like manly shit
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah.
Do like remodeling houses or shops or like building things or like martial arts or weightlifting or like,
Yeah,
like
and
riding horses.
He's always
Yeah,
trying
yeah,
to
like
do
the
some manly shit.
masculine
Always
thing.
trying
but
to,
but
like,
he's
do
good
some
at it
manly
too.
shit.
He's good at it.
Well,
like,
he'll if he's not good at it, he'll get to the point where he is.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
I've
mean,
He can
noticed
pretty much
that.
do
Yeah.
anything.
everything he's done. Like you've been brilliant at it. Like like both of y'all.
Well, why do it if you're gonna
Do
just
it
gotta do
half-ass.
it, man?
Yeah, it's true.
We like to call ourselves 1%ers. Not so much right now for me, but we like to call ourselves 1%ers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I heard
That's
that
what
term
my
before.
boxing coach used to say. He's like, "Don't get out here and be the 95%, be the
Yeah.
or the 1%." He's like, "You gotta be the 1%."
That's
Yeah.
He
true.
say that to me all the time. Don't be the 99%.
I always
be the
look at
1%.
it like I see all these people doing things, and I'm like, well, I can do better than that.
Well, I love that about it. I mean, I really feel like
Yeah.
that's a good. I
She's
think
like,
it's a
I
good
want this
mentality.
thing
Yeah.
from this store or whatever. I was like,
Oh
I'll
my,
just-
yeah.
I was like,
I think most
I'll
men
just
do
build
that.
you that shit.
Yeah,
Build
I
it.
can build it better than that.
Piece of shit. You're gonna buy it. Spend $400 on it. I'll just build it.
I love that.
That's
Such
that's
a man
awesome.
thing too.
Yeah, that's
Husband's
awesome,
like,
though.
I'll build it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
6 years later, where the fuck's
Oh,
my
no,
build?
yeah,
Where's my build, my
I
guy?
can build it, but you know,
Thanks. That piece of shit one from Walmart would have done just fine.
yeah,
Okay.
You're not wrong. I've eased up on that a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, just trying to prioritize my life, make it as simple as I can.
Yeah.
It's
Well-
working out pretty well.
Yeah. So take us into you're doing great.
Yeah.
So take us into you've got kids, right? So
Yeah.
take us into your 20s and kind of going into fatherhood
Well,
and
so-
marriage and
Yeah, well, that's when my anxiety attacks started. Was fatherhood. So literally the day before we had my first kid, I signed the lease to my first shop.
okay.
So, which is Fort City Tattoo,
Mm-hmm.
and that was in 2011. So we sat down with the building owner, signed the papers, and then the next day I had a baby. So I
Wow.
had a brand new shop that I had to go remodel,
Yeah.
and then a baby the next day.
So were you working in a shop before you decided to branch
Yeah.
out on your own?
Yeah.
And have you always wanted to be a business owner? Because
No,
you kind of
no,
strike
but
me
it
as
was-
like I can do it, but I can do it my way better.
Well,
like
that's exactly
like if
was
I'm
my
gonna do
thought.
it, yeah,
Was
yeah,
like, well, I could just do this
yeah,
and then do it on my own and be better and
Yeah.
run it the way I would
right.
see fit. Yeah.
So take us into fatherhood. For somebody that grew up without having like a father, you had a grandfather, which
Yeah.
my grandpa
I
was.
mean, he wasn't like, he didn't like discipline me like a dad. or
Yeah.
anything like that. He was just kind of there.
There.
Yeah.
Were you nervous about diving into fatherhood, not really having this
Honestly,
example?
no. I mean, it honestly didn't even set in until maybe August, which is my first daughter,
Mm-hmm.
started like kind of talking and walking around.
Yeah.
And stuff. When they're a baby, it's like,
They don't have much to
I
complain
didn't get.
about.
To be honest, I wasn't.
Look at
like,
that baby.
I wasn't like.
They
was like, hell- I was
suck
like, hell
the
yeah,
first
what-
year,
he's
man.
not a baby guy,
I'm not a
man.
I
baby
was stoked
person
about
either.
it, but I was like,
Yeah.
you know, it was like when I started realizing the amount of responsibility that
Mm-hmm.
I had set, because prior to that, I had no responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was a little shit, dude. I did what I wanted when I wanted, and just
Yeah.
like,
that all had to stop.
ran the place, you know. And then now you have a kid, and you're like I said, it took probably about 2 years
Yeah.
before I
Yeah.
started to be like, oh shit, like
I'm a dad. This is
Time
my
to
kid.
man
dad,
Yeah.
and then all the self doubt,
Then all this cycle
Yeah.
in your
Mhm.
head.
and that
starts.
hasn't stopped yet.
I will say
And that was
in men's
12 years ago.
defenses,
Really?
It hasn't stopped. Yeah, it doesn't ever stop. I don't think.
it well, and I think as a parent, as we know, like I don't
Yeah,
think
he's
it ever does.
constantly worried. He's damaging them in some sort of way. or
Like they're gonna have to
they're
recover.
miserably unhappy, or like he has to constantly keep them entertained. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, they're kids.
They're
like we
fine.
do not have to keep them entertained 24/7.
that
But he
is very
feels
true.
guilt. That's another part where the food comes in. He genuinely thinks he's going to give his kids cancer by feeding them garbage food. So he's very strict about it. He's lightened up a lot though.
Yeah, but you're coming from a place of love
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just wanting to protect, and like that's your love language.
Yeah,
That's your way
Yeah,
of
I'm
doing
trying to
it.
fix it as quick as I can, so it doesn't seem like a
Control thing.
problem.
Yeah.
And I
And
think
that
it's
is tough.
I
You
think
know-
it's to that point now. I don't think it's too wild.
Well-
I mean, they got freaking Easter candy and shit the other day.
I mean, I love you.
I
You
hate
got
it.
it's not sugar free either. Damn it! You know,
well,
Dad
he
loves
used
you.
to
I
make
hate
me do the sugar-free stuff
Gotcha.
and all the things, but
Or
I
I'll
just
just
started
throw it away.
ignoring him.
Yeah,
They would get it the night before, and then it would suddenly disappear the next day.
could you eat it? I was,
No,
that's what
I
I would
don't.
do. I'm kidding.
I can't eat it.
You threw it away.
You know,
Mess me up. I
I've
can't.
always said like I don't have like that attachment to things, partly because of my childhood traumas. Like I don't get attached to much because everything I did would disappear at some point, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of stepped back one day and thought about fatherhood and what that looks like from a man's perspective. Like us as women, we carry the child, our body changes. We have 9 months to prepare for this kid because our body is adjusting to motherhood.
Yeah.
But I can imagine if somebody was like, okay, here's your kid. You got to love it. You know, like you haven't had a chance to prepare. You don't like,
Well,
it's
you're
just
not wrong.
I couldn't love it. I don't know that I could love
Yeah.
my own kid until I started having a bond with that kid
That's kind of how I feel.
when they're mobile and able to talk, you know?
Yeah.
And so I totally understand a little bit of how dads bond because it's just a different bond than what we're
I-
used to, right?
I
Yeah.
agree. At
And
least from
so-
my perspective. I mean, some dads, I'm sure they're
Yeah.
overjoyed. And,
Yeah,
and-
I think
mean,
maybe those that want to desperately have a kid,
but
because
I
some
don't
guys
think
are
it's
like that, man.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing to not know how to feel when you have a kid.
Yeah.
It's not like I didn't want to have a kid. I was super excited about it, but I didn't feel like a connection to a baby yet.
Right. Well, how do you? I mean,
I
the
don't know.
babies suck for about a year.
I don't know.
They just lay there and
Now I
cry.
have it- now I have it- Oh yeah, you're right.
You're boring, like, you
Yeah.
know. But it's true. I mean, I resonate with that, and I think that needs to be talked about more. Is that the relationship between fatherhood and babies? Like, it's like saying if somebody out of blue said, "Oh, by the way, this is your kid." I'm like, oh damn, I'm supposed to love it. Like I don't know how
Yeah.
to love something like that, so I can
I'm the
understand where
opposite.
that
I can pretty much.
Love
she is.
anything?
Yeah.
But that helps
Yeah.
me out quite a bit. It's made me a little bit more
soft,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
kind of,
empathetic. For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I'm the opposite of empathetic.
yeah, I
Yeah.
am. Well,
And that's
Yeah,
not-
there's not
you know,
much in there.
there's not
Our
much
therapist will
Carly.
be like, "You're up here. I want you to be down here." And he's like, "What do you feel?" And he's like, "Nothing."
And I'm
you feel
like,
right
you
now?
gotta
Nothing.
feel something, like
I
something.
mean, I do when it's like just me, you know. And,
Yeah.
if I create that thought, but when somebody's like forcing a thought on me, I don't know. It has to happen inside here
Organically and just try to,
I mean, I get that.
yeah.
I have to come to the realization first. Like somebody can't make me. Do
I got
it,
what you.
or-
Well,
or-
otherwise it's not organic that way. You know, you want to genuinely
I haven't
express how you
figured it all
feel.
out yet.
Well, listen, I'm 36 years old and I haven't figured out shit, and
Yeah.
I'm just at the point where I've realized
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm just gonna wing it and have fun while I'm
I think
trying.
we're just supposed to. Yeah, we're here to learn.
Yeah.
But that's the point, though, Joe, is that there's a difference between people that are supposed to learn or willing to learn and grow, and then those that aren't.
Yeah.
And I think that it's okay to say I've still got a lot of growing to do, but I'm open to growing,
It's just
where
the
that
ego.
people don't.
It's just
So,
people's ego. For
Going
sure.
into you,
Yeah,
Hannah,
ego.
where are you from?
Van Buren.
VB, yes. I got kicked out of
VB.
VB in school.
Pointers.
Yeah, oh God, we sucked at every sport we were playing. So about your
My
childhood.
basketball.
Well, that's true, yeah. I got kicked out in 11th grade at Van Buren.
Oh, I was wondering what year it was.
Yeah, 05.
Hmm.
Yeah, got a little wild. Oh, it's
No.
fine. It's okay. I'm a legacy. What can I say? I didn't need to finish
Her
it
name's
out.
on the banner in the gym.
Yeah, do not allow in.
Yeah,
It's
on
fine.
the
Bitch
band
had
banner.
too many
The band
parties.
banner, yeah.
So tell us about your childhood growing up.
Raised in Van Buren. My whole family's from here. I loved my childhood. It was probably like, I find a lot of times as an adult now, I'm trying to chase that happiness I had then.
So pure
Uh,
back then too. We had no idea.
Yeah, but
Had
it was
no
just,
idea.
I mean, I did have a lot of things available for me. I had options endless just because I had a very supportive family and they're financially well off. They own, my grandpa owns Breed and Dodge. Most of my family works there, so they've got a great name, been around forever. But I grew up playing basketball for sure. Played basketball my whole life. It was definitely my favorite thing. Riding horses was another thing. So I'm trying to get this guy to get me a horse and some land.
Hey.
Oh, that'd be great. Hey, that's therapeutic for sure.
Very,
I would
very
love to ride a
therapeutic.
horse and just forget about everything. So growing into your childhood and your adulthood, school, take us what happened after school, because you have a kid. So kind of give us a little outlook of what that looks like, because you and I kind of share a lot of
Yeah.
the similar
Yeah, very.
understanding between our sons and that. And can we touch on that?
Yeah, a lot of our history is
Yes,
pretty similar.
it's pretty
Yeah.
similar. And so kind of take us through that a little bit.
So, well, I think where it starts is kind of both of our fathers were absent. Mine was in and out of my life forever. And actually, the day that he got the phone call his dad died was the day my dad died, or was
Wow.
it the day before?
I think it was the
Anyway,
day before
it was
or
pretty much the
day.
same damn
Yeah.
day.
Damn.
Our
Is
dads
that,
had died.
So that's your mom's side of the family that owns?
Breeden Dodge.
Breeden Dodge.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
okay.
my mom.
Okay.
And my dad had a dealership also, and he kind of drugged that away. But he was in and out of my life forever, and so drugs, alcohol, all of that. And between me and my 4 siblings, we were either going to go one of 2 ways.
Right.
We were going to see what that life was about, or we were going to, grind. Like my sister did everything the right way. I was a little bit more wild. So
Yeah.
I was pretty wild. And
I think it also kind of goes to show that you guys can be raised in this certain
Oh, it don't matter.
lifestyle,
Yeah. Well,
and it doesn't matter.
Van Buren is actually, and I don't want to like throw Van Buren under the bus, but, we were very great athletes,
Yeah.
very good students, popular kids, and there are so many that are dead now from drugs.
That's what's my
Wow,
dream with
yeah.
Van Buren. That's what happened. What happened to me
tons.
there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I was an athlete. I was a ball player. I was popular. I was a new girl coming from Southside, and it was
Everybody
like,
loves a new girl.
wow, it was like a whole different world. I wasn't ready for parties, drugs, you name it.
Yeah.
Like, and it was with kids that had money. Like we were, and
Oh,
it
yeah.
just,
Yeah.
it was crazy. I've never seen anything like it. Like
Well,
it was
there's
there.
a lot of, I would, there wasn't a lot of girls doing those things, but I was definitely like one of them, hanging with the boys, because I did hang with the boys a lot more than I did the girls. But still, some of the boys, some got out and got their shit together, and others are still kind of struggling. And then
Same.
there's a lot that have passed away. It's super
crazy.
sad. But I don't know how no one knew. How did not one adult know? That's what blows my mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we were getting away with a lot. A lot.
Pretty sure we were the reason
different
why
time.
Walmart made us ID for Air Duster. That
Oh,
because
I
that
ne-
was
I never-
real.
I never
that
went
was
down
real
that
big
route.
at Van Buren was Air Duster. And the crazy
I don't think any of us were. A lot of the boys.
pills was another
Yeah,
one,
I think
too.
they got hurt in sports or something. And maybe it started with pain pills and stuff
Yeah.
like that for some of them. And then, I don't know. I don't know if it's like the small town thing or if it's just like, what the hell else are we supposed to do? But
I think it was both. Plus, I like being high, so that probably factored
Yeah.
in a lot into it too.
Yeah.
I like being fucked up, so
Well,
that
for
was
me,
great. That
you
probably
know,
factored into it too.
I've always had the mental health thing. I think a lot of it was that I was
Yeah.
self-medicating
Yeah, I was,
for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
So into my still going buck wild, and I start. I steal my sister's driver's license every time she comes in town for college, so I can go to Papa's and the Cowboy and whatever. She caught on though, but I started going to Papa's all the time, and they were like, "You need to work here. You need to work here. You need to work here." And when I turned 21, I was like, "Here's my application." They were like, "You bitch," so they hired me.
Yeah, I remember you working.
Yeah, they hired me. I worked there for a long time, and I met my son's father and was pregnant 3 months later.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and I was young. I think I got pregnant at 21 or 22 and then had him at 22 or 23, something like that.
Same age as when I had Branson. Yeah.
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 Young. And
So
that
take
was-
us through that. Take us of what that looked like. I mean, pregnant.
Well, it's interesting. I'm not really like an anti-smortion person. I probably would be now that I'm
Yeah.
grown and a little bit more on the conservative side of things. I guess 'cause I'm getting older, and I think that's what old people do. They get more conservative.
Yeah.
But I knew that I was supposed to keep him.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah.
I don't know if my mom knew I should keep him, but
Right.
because I was young, and
Yeah,
it's like I didn't have a pot to piss in. So it's like, what are you going to do? She
Yeah.
probably knew that she was going to have to raise this baby for me.
Yeah.
But thank God for her. But it's one of those things where it's like, your parents always tell you to be careful and do it when you're a little bit more responsible and set up, because when he was born, he came out with a lung disease and was sick.
Yeah.
I mean, we were at Children's Hospital all the time. We stayed there for about 3 months consistently, and then we got a diagnosis. It was a very rare lung disease. So that was crazy.
Yeah, that's soul
that whole
crushing
thing
right
was
there.
crazy. Yeah.
Was his father present through all of this? Okay.
Yeah, so we were together the first couple years, and he had a pretty bad drinking problem. I don't think any of us realized the extent of it. But after having my son, I had so many aha moments. Like, I gave him a couple chances, and then, I was like, you got to go to AA. You got to, I mean, he lost his house. I went back to work at Papa's, caught him up on his mortgage, ended up losing it anyway. We had to move into this like little shack at Tillis Park kind of situation, and, Medicaid and all that. And he couldn't kick the bottle. So we split for good, and he ended up passing away, I think now 4 years ago from alcohol, in his early 4 years old. I think he was 40 or maybe 42.
How did your son handle that?
He was 9. And it was
So I
pretty
remember when that
brutal.
happened, and I reached out to you, and I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
God, like, I see this, like, I pray, like, I know, I see,
Yeah, you
I
did
see,
reach out. I
because I
remember
was
that.
like,
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
like, this hits
Yeah.
home for me, like, I see this within my, and my story, and I'm just like, man, I'm thinking about you, because I know you're trying to navigate these mixed emotions he has, about his father, because, you want to be angry at him because you're just like, you chose this, and then, but you want to be sympathetic. It's just, it's a weird emotion.
And my dad, being an alcoholic, and my
Yeah.
mom, she rode him pretty hard in regards to like child support. And, my dad did go to prison for a year over child support. He had so much back pay. I ended up dropping child support because why?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What am I going to get from this man?
Yeah.
Absolutely
$80 a
nothing.
week. I'm good on that.
nothing.
Yeah.
I ain't going to
Yeah.
get anything. So,
Yeah.
and it made our relationship weird. And at that point, like towards the end, I just wanted him to spend time with Heath when he could, and that was pretty much how that ended. COVID happened, and I think he died during COVID, so my son has to be quarantined because he's got a lung disease.
Oh, yeah.
His
Yeah.
dad had pancreatitis and diabetes and cirrhosis, and so he's quarantined, and so they didn't see each other for a while.
How did your son handle that
didn't
when he
like that
passed?
very much. Yeah, it upset him pretty bad.
Yeah.
He still feels guilty.
Yeah.
But he's in therapy too. Made his ass go to therapy.
That's good. Yeah.
I don't think he quite realized. He always says, I'm fine. He's 16 now. I don't think he quite realizes yet.
Yeah.
But it's going to haunt him for a while, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
And I think that, with our sons, like I've, said that with Branson too. And I'm like, you've got to be feeling something. No, I'm fine. And then it takes something to happen.
Yeah.
And then he just unleashed. And I'm like, I knew you're not okay, but you're going to have to talk to somebody. If it's not me, it's going to be somebody, because you know that they're feeling it. And that's just something that, they're going to have to adjust throughout time.
Yeah.
Do you ever worry, because addiction is so prevalent on either side? Are you ever
He's
concerned with
anti.
him?
He is very anti.
That's how Branson, that's amazing.
I mean, he does not like being around people when they're drinking.
Yeah. It's
at
like
all.
a trigger for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't like it. He's
Yeah.
not into it.
So take us to where you two met. We've talked a lot, and I've expressed to you a lot of my struggles with being a step parent and blending a family. And let me just tell you, it is the hardest thing
really
I have
fucking
ever
hard.
had to do. And I'm not sure I would ever do it again. If it was, I would have to go through like
It's
an
my second
extensive
round.
interview.
Yeah.
Well, you
My
went
second
through.
round
Yeah.
of blending families, which I think really helped us.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah. And with me, I didn't. And I'm like, I would have to have an interview with the baby mama, because if she's certifiably crazy, it ain't fucking happening again. I'm like, that bitch.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to talk to the kid. Like, it's a lot. It's a
Yeah.
lot, especially when you come from it being you and your son, which you came out of another divorce, right? Take us a little bit through
Well, I only
that.
had one divorce, Miranda.
Well, okay, you weren't married. Well,
Another
I've been divorced
divorce.
a couple, 5 times. But you weren't married to his dad, were you?
No,
Your
no,
son's
no.
dad.
No,
Okay.
I never married Big Heath, so it's Big Heath and Little Heath. No, I
okay.
never married Heath. But I was married to my ex for quite a while, and he had a daughter the same age as my son, and they kind of grew up together. So that was pretty devastating.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was hard on both of us, me and my son. So I knew going into this, I was going to be very, very careful.
Yeah.
I didn't have my son around him for a long time.
Yeah.
And I had to be kind of careful with his girls because
Were you afraid to get attached because of not?
Yeah, for sure.
Forgetting that.
I'm more so about the kids because
Yeah.
I'm a big girl.
Yeah,
you know what I
right,
mean.
right.
But more so about the kids because I saw how my son was reacting to losing his stepsister.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew, oh shit, this is crazy.
Is there communication still with your son and them? Like, are they still? No, that's tough.
No, we
Because
weren't.
you blend a family and you push for that dynamic of
Well, it's what kept me in it for
yeah.
as long as it
Yeah,
did.
because you push that whole narrative of, that's your sister or that's your brother. Like, we don't do step. We don't say step. I don't say,
Yeah, no.
you can maybe say bonus if it's not offensive to the other parent. But
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I say these are my daughters, and he
yeah,
says
yeah.
some,
And that's how I was raised by my stepdad. My stepdad's my dad,
Yeah.
And so that's where you push that. And then you get a divorce. You're like, nope, that's not your sibling anymore. It's done. It's like, that's so confusing because,
Well, he was more so about rip the Band-Aid off and we're not gonna let him talk anymore
Yeah.
unless we get back together. And I'm like, okay,
using it as
well.
like a weapon
Damn.
almost. Yeah.
But it's tough because they go to school together.
It's tough.
And now my son is pretty close friends with her new stepbrother.
oh, wow.
Ah.
I mean, it's just
It's just all in the
Wow.
circle. Man. Today's episode wouldn't be possible without one of our amazing sponsors, Franklin for Life, a trucking company steering you towards success. You want to get a hold of them? No problem. 479-384-1586. Thank you, Franklin for Life.
Life is insane.
Yeah.
It just
That's-
keeps going.
yeah, it does.
Doesn't
It
stop for
does.
nobody. But
So
it
when-
helped us to be a little bit more careful moving into our relationship. But we knew each other for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was tattooing me like 10 years before
Oh, really?
we dated. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's covered
when
up
we first
multiple.
opened.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's when we first met.
So y'all knew each other.
He
throughout
tattooed my wedding date, covered up my wedding date.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Covered
Yeah,
up
there you
another-
go.
covered up another boyfriend
Yeah.
tattoo I had on my foot.
Yep.
Look at you covering things up.
He's
And,
real-
I'm
I'm
real
next.
love
That was before we ever dated.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think we talked about that one time because I was like, looking at you guys, I'm like, how did this not ever happen sooner?
He was married.
That
Oh,
puts
yeah,
a
that's
damper in
right.
things.
Yeah,
That's
that's
right.
right.
That
He was
puts a
married for
damper
a
in
long
things.
time.
That puts
Yeah,
a damper.
yeah.
That's
So-
right.
Before you two met, take us through your divorce a little bit. I mean, you don't have to go into grave detail, but just
pretty
going
simple.
through a divorce. I mean, I think I was around when you guys divorced because I know your ex-wife as well too, and I think it was kind of just cut and dry, wasn't it? I mean, I'm sure there was
Well-
drama in there, but was it just
Yeah. I don't have to talk
Yeah.
about the drama, but pretty much she came out as being gay,
okay?
and I'm obviously not a woman.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
So
there's
that was that.
That was that.
So
Yeah.
that was pretty much just,
Wow.
and for me, like, that made it easier for me.
Did
that,
it?
That it wasn't like
Like another
another
man.
man.
Thank
or
you.
like,
I'm leaving you for another
Thank
man.
you. I have had this argument with people. I'm like, okay, would you be more upset if somebody left you for the
guys
same sex or
are
upset?
More pissed. I've heard, but for me, like it
I'd
it
be
took-
like,
it
all
took-
right, cool.
It took all the like
Yeah.
resentment away.
Yeah. That's how I would feel too. I'm like, no,
But
I mean, it's
for
just
me,
not me.
like once we're done, it's like there's no for me. There's no like.
Yeah.
I have no feeling or anything
Yeah.
towards that whole situation.
Yeah.
anymore.
That's it.
And
Like,
just
you drop
strictly
it like
about the
that?
kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's-
Same
There's nothing
day.
in here.
Same day.
Nothing in here.
I mean,
Oh,
so-
yeah.
here,
I guess maybe that helps me out.
Yeah. In
Like,
certain situations,
Yeah.
that's a blessing.
Yeah. But for real, so yeah, she's remarried now to a woman,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mhm.
they're great parents. So,
like, do you guys still have a good relationship?
yeah, I mean, we have split like custody or whatever. I get the kids half the week; she gets the kids the other half the
Cool,
week. There's no
okay.
argument on like if
Yeah.
she can take them out of town or out of the country, and there's no argument.
That's
God,
good.
and that's
with,
so
like,
nice.
That's how it should be.
Oh man, some of my friends is like
That's how it should be.
miserable. Like
Yes.
they can't even go.
We went through that. Yeah.
Like we're just going to the next state over.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
The hell
That's
you are.
Yeah.
That's good,
No,
man.
They won't let them do
That's
anything with
good.
the kids.
We went through that too, and it's
And they just
fucking
but
hell.
it's not fair to the kids.
no.
It's
You know,
not.
they're just holding that shit over their head for resentment.
Mm-hmm.
Really.
Yeah. And I never wanted, I always said, I don't want my daughter to have to go to her wedding and be worried that both her parents are in the same room. I don't want that to be a worry for her.
Oh, man.
I don't want
Yeah.
her prom to have to worry about splitting, an extra 2
Yeah.
hours because both of her parents can't be in the same room.
Mhm.
And that's important.
I don't think we've had any kind of
Yeah.
crazy like engagement about. I mean, there's been not crazy ones, but
Little spats, yeah. I mean-
some stuff. But like, our households are a little bit different thinking. But
Yeah. I would say you're the
mo-
1% of households,
for
Jeff.
the
I
mo-
don't think.
For the most part, I think that like we get along and just try to be level-headed about it.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Cool. Yeah.
So was single parenting different for you?
I wasn't
first?
I wasn't single parenting, but for about 3.5 days.
Until
I
you.
was still living with my wife when
He
me and her
slid my
started dating.
DMs like that. She's
Okay,
like,
all
"I'm
right,
gay."
so
He's like,
here
"Hey,
it
Hannah."
is.
Like I said, it just cut it off and it was done.
It was done,
I said,
yeah.
I don't feel shit.
Shit.
But Joyce did, my ex-wife did the same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
We were like, I think it was just a long time coming. You know, she wanted to be who she wanted to be.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was like, well, if I don't have any option with you, then why am I? I'm not just gonna wait around.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah,
it's
that's
like I
true.
want to have a family.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to be a single dad. I don't want to have. I mean, I came from like, I don't want to do shit anymore. I want to sit on my ass and have you do it. No,
There you
but I
go.
came from a family that didn't. It was a small family, and everybody was old, and like her family is huge. Luckily,
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like she's got cousins and nephews and
Mhm.
uncles and brothers and sisters, and it's like we couldn't have asked for something better.
Do you
know?
like being a part of a bigger family?
that's
I know
what-
I do.
That's what I'm saying.
I love
It
that
was
because I
weird
didn't
for
have
me
that.
first.
Yeah, it's
You thought we
awkward.
were weird at first, like.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did.
Well, yeah, you definitely thought my friend group was weird because we hung out so much. You're like,
Oh, the
"God,
friend
wait."
group.
Yeah.
But that's not your family.
Well,
the friend group. But
we
yeah, but,
family gets together a lot. And you're
Yeah,
like, again, like
yeah.
how long we gonna be there?
That's
what
how-
now?
yeah.
We're going now.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
But he likes it now.
Yeah.
I love,
sort
yeah.
of. Well, we don't do a lot of that stuff with your friends anymore now. We're
talking about
we're
family.
old. Oh, family, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I didn't have that either. And when I was seeing my husband's family do that, I'm like, man, this is cool. Like they do Christmas vacations
Yeah.
together and all that
Yeah.
stuff. And I'm like, I didn't realize I missed that until I saw a family have that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I envy that. Now I want that because I want to my kids to be able to like, remember on Sundays we used to do all
I
this
know.
together.
That's
Like,
some of my best memories.
Yes,
traditional
yeah,
things.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I never had that
Yeah.
growing up. It was never. We would do some maybe once every couple of years, but like not to the capacity of like when y'all plan something, it's everyone and everyone. Like
yeah, we were always.
I've been to
doing
a couple
something.
parties at your house,
Yeah,
you know,
we
with
were
your
always
family.
doing something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys meet. Take us through that journey of navigating, dating, post divorce, blending families. What does that look like for you guys?
Well, we were doing a podcast at the
Yeah,
time,
I was on- yeah.
and I kept trying to say that he
Yeah, that's
wasn't
how I
my
met you.
boyfriend. Yeah. I kept trying to say that he wasn't my boyfriend, and he kept telling me, "Nope, he is.
I'm like,
he
what?
is definitely your
I'm like,
boyfriend."
That's your man.
Because I was just salty,
Yeah,
super
yeah.
salty.
yeah.
So I was pretty mean
Yeah,
to
you
him.
were
I'd push him
salty.
away, and then when I got bored, I'd pull him back, and then I'd push him
Yeah.
away, and I'd pull him back.
Yeah. She almost lost me.
Yeah, he did say,
Just the other day, I told you that shit.
You did really good. I can see you got away pretty far there.
yeah, he ran, huh?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You like
but no, we-
tiptoed out. I'm leaving. I'm not
Yeah.
going anywhere. I promise.
That was before
Sure
we
you
were
don't
even
want
really
me?
hanging out. That was just like, I don't know, the first few months we were talking, but yeah.
But growing up and like kind of going through what you guys have gone through,
Mm-hmm.
had you guys have maybe tried to connect years before, it probably wouldn't have worked out
Probably
the
not.
way, you know.
Well, I
Who
don't know
you
that I
guys
was
are.
ready for it either.
Yeah, yeah.
He's a lot more straight edge than I ever was in my entire life. The dude
Yeah.
has like half a drink and he's already drunk. So he doesn't drink a lot. He doesn't do, he's very structured, very disciplined.
yeah.
And I was like, okay, yeah, I probably need this. This is probably what I need. I definitely
Yeah.
wasn't going to repeat the cycle I had in the past. That's for damn sure. So I was into it. I lost 20 pounds like that. Got
Isn't
my
it crazy?
ass back
how
in the gym.
Y'all are like the complete opposites. Like most people get in relationships,
It's-
get fat and happy. Y'all got in relationships like this bitch got.
I think
You
we
always
both
had abs. I don't want to
kinda
like. You've
compete.
always had abs, but I'm like, and
Yeah.
next thing I know, this bitch is a bodybuilder. She's like, I mean, all this stuff. I'm like, that's what it's like. Not saying that you couldn't have done that on your own because
I
you're
wouldn't
very
have.
strong, but like,
I wouldn't have.
it just goes to show
Maybe if
who
I
you're
got-
with makes a
if they were
difference.
like,
Yeah,
you're
for
obese
sure.
now,
For
maybe that
sure.
would put me
I
in the
think
gym.
I think Jeff helps her.
You've
Like,
told me that.
and like they both feed off
Yeah,
each
we
other.
compliment each other for
Yeah.
sure.
You've
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think it's
absolutely.
perfect that they get together. You know, I mean, like it's perfect because again, like your business, the parlor. If it wasn't for Jeff, you wouldn't have done it.
It's his fault.
He pushed
I
you.
blame
He
him.
pushed you into doing it,
I blame him
and
for the part.
and it's great.
That's because, like I said, with my mentality, I see her and
Mhm.
she could do it better. and
Yeah.
She could do it for herself. And
Absolutely,
it's like if you know that you got the capability to do it, just do it.
absolutely.
Even if it's one time, you know what I mean? Like, you're
Do you
gonna-
regret it?
At the moment.
at the moment, maybe. At the
Yeah.
What about you, girl?
I mean,
Every fucking day.
the economy
man.
right
It's
now
hard
is
right now.
horrible, dude.
It's very, very
everywhere's
hard.
closing,
It's hard for everybody right
everybody's
now.
downsizing.
But we gotta keep pushing.
Yeah. What else
I
you gonna
just-
do?
We gotta
It's-
keep pushing, man.
It's exhausting.
When you had posted, so I was actually grateful.
When I was telling people it
Ha-
ain't what it looks like.
Yes,
Bring your
and-
ass in.
And
Yeah.
you're talking about your scheduling and things like that. And it was like I had just had a breakdown over my business, you know, and all my surgery. And I told my husband about you, and I was like, dude, she's like top tier. You know, when you look at a business, like I look at yours, I think like she's the elite, like she's like the sorority of all,
creme
like
de la creme.
the alpha, you know. And I'm like, and
She
she's
is.
struggling. You are, and I see that about you, and I've expressed that to you, like how I view you and stuff, and I genuinely mean that. And I'm like, and she's struggling. So I know if she's struggling and she's got everything covered from A to Z, I mean, it's inevitable. I'm fucking
I mean,
struggling.
it's wild.
It's
I
crazy
typically
right now.
book out, 2 to 3 months at a time, and I got shit open next week.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild.
And so when you put that out there, I was like, okay, like, and it honestly, it did. I was able to breathe a little bit. I'm not happy that you're
there's
slow,
enough-
but like,
yeah, I know, right?
thank God it's not just me, you know, like
No,
in a
it's-
sense
well,
of
it's
like
across the
what's
you can
wrong
only
with
go
me.
for so long, you know what I mean? Like, it's
Yeah.
either gonna go up or it's gonna go down.
Yeah.
And it just kind of is what it
Yeah.
is. I'm kind of over it at this point.
I am too. Like I am too.
Been a long 4 years.
How did that?
Yes.
How has that affected y'all's marriage? Being
Yeah.
to okay, so back it up a little bit. Let's go into co-parenting, bringing your children into a household together. What does that look like for you guys as a married couple? You could decide to get married. You got blended families. What is that like for y'all?
For her, it was like she just took the reins.
Yeah.
Started taking the girls out
In regards to the
shopping
kids,
and
yeah.
stuff.
That's
yeah.
dope.
Well, that's what you gotta do. You gotta take them shopping first.
Oh, you got it. Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember
If you want
she
the
went and
kids
took
to
them
like
all.
Yes, you do. Yeah,
take
and
them
they're
shopping?
girls, so
Yeah,
you
yeah.
like get to
Yeah.
do all that
Yeah.
girly stuff.
They're
Yeah.
doing that bonding.
That was like the
Yeah.
first thing, because Cody was little. Cody, our
She's
youngest,
2,
was
I think.
2.
Man, she's
Yeah.
too cute, bro.
Uh-huh.
She's so
too
cute.
August was very attached. She is definitely one of those attachment kids. And she was a mess, boy. She was a mess. But
Yeah,
we
she was-
grew out of the messness.
Yeah. How did that feel for you, bonding with her son as a man and a boy, and
I
knowing
didn't
his
really-
history with his
She
dad?
kinda hung out with my girls before I even hung out with her. So
Yeah.
I didn't
I
really
didn't
hang
let
out.
Heath come around.
I really didn't even hang out with her son until they moved in.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
He was mostly still at the house hanging out with. I was picking him up from school. Was about the only time we even
Really?
got to interact. Yeah.
What does that look like for y'all now?
Well, now he's 16 and kind of
Yeah.
does the same thing. I just goes to school, drives himself
Just
around.
to chill. Yeah,
Not
yeah.
gonna
Now
wanna
he's
do
like
anything with
doing his
anybody.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's-
It's easier because we communicate a little bit more.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And then it's like I don't know how. If honestly, it's like a lot of pressure for me, like to try to step up because his dad just died, and it's like
Yeah.
we just blended a family. They just got a divorce.
Yeah.
It's like
I was very
I'm
protective
kind of
of
like
Heath.
I'm
Yeah.
just like I almost just need somebody to tell me like this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't have a dad. I'm just like there's no natural feeling of what
Right.
to do for me anyway.
Right.
Maybe there is for other people, but
Yeah.
for me it's like just this is what you're supposed to. And I know what I'm supposed to do, but it's hard to like
hard.
implement it sometimes. And we're both awkward too. Like we're both
Yeah, they're both
introverts.
awkward.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
it's just
Well, neither one of them know what to say or do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
and it's like you can't like put at this point. So you can't push on. It's like, hey man, let's go fishing. And he's like, I want to go fishing.
wanna
You
go
know, like I
fishing.
want to
Yeah.
play on my computer. You know, or
Yeah.
like, I don't know. You know,
I blame myself for a lot of it because coming off of the divorce, I wanted them to create a relationship naturally when my son felt comfortable to do so.
Yeah.
And it just went for too long.
Yeah.
And then there were walls built, and I was like, well, shit, how are we going to
Yeah.
get those down now?
Yeah.
I think the most important thing is just like he is what I didn't have. Just some to lead by example or to just to treat his mom like a man should.
Yeah.
And provide for
Yeah.
everyone in the household.
Absolutely.
And like just show the fuck up when you're supposed to show up. I mean, I went to all of his football games, went to all of his basketball practices, picked him up from school.
I like
I
that.
did.
Yeah.
I just showed up.
Yeah.
Like, you just
Yeah.
have to show up and like that. You know.
That makes a big
yeah, that
difference.
makes a big
That's
difference.
what that's how I show love.
Yeah, 'cause he's
When-
seeing
when-
it
and
too.
Make up for like
Yeah.
my lack of empathy, which I'm working on. But it's
But
just,
he knows,
it's
like,
just-
if he needed to talk to somebody about guy things, if he
Yeah, I've
wasn't,
talked to him like
he
that,
could
yeah.
talk to you. Yeah.
yeah, I hope so. You know, because there's some things that
Well, he wild.
yeah, she
No.
doesn't, and then she's like,
Heath is wild
well.
after he turns
And he's
16.
there all the time. Like, y'all kind of get a break with your kids going
Yeah,
back.
yep.
And then you got same thing with Branson. Like, Branson's with us 24/7. And he went through this thing where he's like, well, everyone goes to their other parents and I'm just here. And I have to remind him, you actually have the most normal life out
Yeah.
of all of them. This is like if Dustin and I were to have a kid, he would be doing the same thing.
I don't think kids.
You know, they
no
don't
matter what
realize
situ-
that.
No matter what situation they're in.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're even being abused or like, it's just like that's normal to them until
Yeah.
they like grow up and then.
Yeah,
have
and
to,
that's
like,
when they'll
have a
come back and
realization.
say,
Yeah, they want
that's
to-
when he
Aha
was
moments.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
They
like,
have
he
their
was
aha
there. He
moments,
was, you
yeah.
know, and I'm glad that you open or you're speaking freely about that, because I do think that we always talk about mothers and stepmom and our position in things and how difficult it is, but we don't really touch on being a stepfather.
It's hard.
And you've got two kids that came from, I say, somewhat of a traumatic situation between his dad and then y'all's divorce and things of that, and then having a mom who's now married to another woman. That's an adjustment in and of itself,
Yeah.
you know. And to say, like, we are expected to be the maternal ones. We're expected to be the nurturing ones. We're expected to take somebody's kids and love them, because that's what women are designed to do. But you know, for you to sit here and say, like, I really don't know, that's big. And I'm glad because I think men need to
Yeah.
say that, because you know, you're going from age 9 to 16, and it's like 16-year-olds, they're trying to figure themselves out, and then it's awkward, and it's the same. I mean, I'm glad because now it that looks like what we go through too.
Well, it's a little bit
you
hard
know?
too, yeah, because it's like you don't want to step on her toes because she's raised him all the way up to this point in a certain way.
So
know,
that
like-
was that was
In a
my
certain
next
way.
question.
And then-
when it
and-
comes to disciplining and doing things like that.
He's a great kid.
So taking us into, we were just talking about blending of family and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all talk a lot about therapy. But when did you guys decide to dive into therapy? Pretty quickly?
Yeah, I was like, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna blend families. We're going to therapy.
Yeah.
And how's that been for you guys?
We
Amazing.
love it.
Really? Was that
Really?
hard for you?
No, not
No.
at all. I mean,
Okay.
I was open to go to it for sure.
Yeah. Diving into, was it originally couples therapy at first?
It's always been couples
it is.
therapy.
Okay.
We do it together.
Okay. So
Uh-huh.
did
That's
y'all
awesome.
realize, like, diving into couples therapy, that maybe individual therapy needed to be there too? Or is
No,
it
no,
just
no,
as a
we-
couple
because
We go
can't-
through all of that
Yeah.
together.
together?
Mhm.
Has that
Yeah.
strengthened your marriage to show those most vulnerable sides of
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys? Really?
Oh yeah. Well, and it
Yeah.
gives you a better understanding of
Of
where
them.
your spouse is coming from. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Especially for me, because I don't think I quite well. This poor guy had to deal with me without bipolar medication for quite a while.
Let's talk. Can we talk about that for
Yeah.
a minute? When did it all kind of start to come to a boiling top, when you realized, like, something? Have you always known about the bipolarness?
No, so I had been diagnosed by EMDR doctor here in towards Greenwood.
I went
and
to
he,
him
he
too.
was like Dr. Ashley.
Mhm.
He was like, well, I'm pretty sure you're bipolar. You're gonna have to see my wife for that, but let's do some EMDR today.
Mhm.
And I did that after my son's father died, because I was at the apartment.
Oh, wow.
So I went and did it for that. So I knew it made a lot of sense when I started learning more about it. But, you know, I had been self-medicating with alcohol forever.
Wow.
And he no like the drinking
Mm-hmm.
because my face change. Apparently, I don't look recognizable. I don't even sound the same when I drink. My voice changes. My face changes. And I'm not I can have one glass of wine and put it back down. That's not me.
Yeah.
So it got to the point. I have videos on my phone. So whenever I completely embarrass myself drinking, I'll record it the next day and
Kinda
be like,
see.
"You were a fucking piece of shit last night."
Wow. Do you
and-
get, like, angry? Does, like, all of that come out, or just like?
It's more so like just meltdowns, like emotional meltdowns. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
then I realized, like, wow, it's gone too far. So I quit drinking for quite a while, and things got a lot better. That's when, well, I'm an addict because I got to go from one thing to
Yeah,
the next. So
yeah.
that's where the gym came into play in the bodybuilding.
Yeah.
But after the bodybuilding show I entered, my mental health just got really, really bad. So finally got on medication and made things a lot better. But talking through all that stuff in therapy, I think helped him to realize, like, oh shit, you know, she's got a lot going on in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And
How
it
did
helped to talk
you-
it out.
How did you accept that diagnosis? Were
Oh,
you were
yeah.
okay with
Oh,
that?
fucking help me.
Did
Yeah,
did,
like,
and now after
I
getting
don't
that
care.
diagnosis, did everything in the past kind of start to click for you? Like,
It
oh,
had
this
been
is
for
what.
a while. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I already knew, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? And I knew I was self-medicated. I've been doing it since I was a kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really young. So
But you know, I
knew
think our
something was
age, I
up.
think that's what we did. I mean, I did. I mean, my grandma's manic
But I don't think we
bipolar,
knew
but
why. You know,
Right,
some
yeah,
kids
yeah.
were just doing it to have fun.
yeah, no,
I don't think I was having fun.
No, I didn't. I remember one time I took a bunch of pills and we were drinking, and I cried in the middle of the hallway at some random party, and I just bawled. I was like, I just want somebody to love me. My dad doesn't love me. He doesn't care
Oh,
about
no, then you
it's
didn't
just
take
like
enough pills.
randomly, it's just like
You didn't
randomly.
take enough pills.
Well,
You shouldn't
listen,
have felt anything.
Pain meds do an opposite thing
Oh,
of
yeah, I
me.
don't
Yeah,
do that.
but I mean, it's just like I never drank and I didn't cry or let like an emotion fly of some sort. So dealing with that before she was diagnosed and got on medication, was that hard for you to kind of navigate on how?
yeah,
Because you're like a
absolutely.
fixer, right? Like you can
Yeah.
fix it, and you can't fix
Oh, he
that.
was like, you need to eat clean.
Yeah.
You need to eat better. That'll solve all problems. I'm like,
Did
I
you
don't think
ever-
it's going to solve this.
Right.
No,
Like
yeah,
my
you're right.
husband thought that. He was like, "What can I do to make you happy? I feel like I'm giving you everything. I can't make you happy." And I have to tell him it's not you. I can listen, I can be the happiest person in the my situation can be great and I'll still be fucked up. I don't know. Was that hard for you to navigate that with her?
Yeah, it's the same way, like kind of confusing because you would think it's I
You.
would think it's me or something I did or like, and different things would trigger her even more. But it's just, I
Well,
mean,
yeah.
there for a while it was like she wasn't getting out of bed.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, and like
I
calling
did
to
this.
work. And,
I did this all through high school too. Like
Yeah.
pretend to be
Yeah.
sick, not get out of bed. I was talking to my best friend about it, and she was like, "Oh, dude, that makes sense." She'd say, "You'd be at school one day, and I wouldn't see you for days."
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I can't get out of bed.
But she got on medication, and I was real scared about that.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
'Cause
ask you.
If it went the other way, or
Yeah.
sideways,
Yeah.
and it didn't, and I mean, she's been like 75, 80 percentile, like
Wow.
since she started taking the medication. I feel like.
But you're
Yeah.
also putting in the work too. Like I
Yeah,
just
she's
want to
doing everything
say
with it.
because
Yeah, you're right.
coming from a family that is all on both sides, they all have to have medication to function. My grandma's manic, bipolar, schizophrenia, all that. And I saw that growing up. And I've seen my family rely on pills to make them happy, but I'm not seeing the work that they put in. I know I have mental health problems. I know I have depression. I know I have anxiety, and
Yeah,
I'm
the
probably
pill-
borderline.
The pill's only there
it's
to
a
support.
Band-Aid.
Right.
Well,
but you go
not-
to the
not a
gym,
Band-Aid,
you
but
eat, yeah.
It'll help the chemical imbalance.
Right. But you got to
That-
put in the
that-
work.
That diet and exercise won't, but then you get diet and exercise and all the other shit
Yeah,
on
mix
top
it,
of
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna do pretty well.
And then therapy. I mean, I
Oh,
do think
therapy
if you're
too.
going to be on medication, you need to be on with
Yeah.
therapy too, I
And
think.
therapy's helped tremendously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know.
So what does things look like for you guys now as a family? You're 4 years into this. You're working through therapy. I'd love that you guys realize that in order to make it work, you have to put in work, and you guys are
Yeah.
doing
Well,
that.
we've been through a lot of
It
shit
has been
in
wild.
It just straight like 4 years. I mean,
Yeah.
It's been wild.
you name it.
You guys
like
are over that
every
hump now.
craziness has happened.
I mean, we
in our
laugh at shit
relationship.
now when it happens.
Like,
It's just
yeah.
like,
Like, have you guys ever wanted to call it quits?
No.
no,
No. All right, good.
That's
good.
never
No,
been a
it's
term
not-
that you guys have ever looked at.
no,
No.
Okay.
no.
Wow.
It's
I don't think it's ever gotten
it's not in the cards
close to
anyway.
that
That's
bad.
good.
I love that.
We
That's
don't
good.
look at it as even an option. It's just not an option.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
get married to get divorced, so
Yeah.
That's good.
that shit ain't happening
I
again.
like that.
And you guys are fighting these battles as a team.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas maybe before it was like trying to figure out how, like that's, I think within my marriage, it's very much like I fight my own battles, he fights his, and I'm trying to figure, going into it as a team unit, that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And you can, like what you lack, he helps, and what he lacks, you help, and you guys
Yeah.
fit it in different ways.
And we really want the kids to see that. We want them
Yeah.
to see a healthy, happy marriage.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
want his
Yeah, where you
girls
can
to
communicate.
know.
Yes.
We're not all just all hiding in the room, like mad
Yeah,
at each
yeah.
other or something.
Or
like-
yelling at
Yeah.
each other for
I
no
mean,
reason.
We
Yeah.
haven't really had too many crazy arguments at all in our
Yeah.
relationship. Maybe like one or two a year.
That's
Yeah.
not even that.
He said something one time about the kids not being happy with me or something, and I punched a hole in the door. But other than that,
Yeah, that's fine.
other than
I think it's
that,
great. It's fine. Just
Like,
one
don't bring
door.
the kids in on this. Like,
Yeah.
we're not crossing
Yeah.
the kids' line.
Damn,
Yeah.
Hannah.
So what is
That's
one thing
before
do
she was
you
on
think?
medication.
Yes,
Oh,
it
it's fine.
was.
We've calmed that
It
down.
was.
Oh yeah, I get it. I'll break fucking. I don't care. I'll break something. So to kind of wrap it up, we're gonna get into business as well too, because you guys own, two big businesses here locally. But let me ask you, what is something that he has helped you with throughout this time? What has he changed about you
Oh God.
through? I mean, I know there's been a lot, but maybe touch on just a couple of things
quite
that you feel
literally,
like. What's the biggest thing?
everything.
Yeah.
Definitely health. The dude is so knowledgeable in all of that stuff, and it also, it's a lot. It can be a lot. How in depth he is with his health. But it makes you feel real bad if you don't do the same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
You can feel real bad real quick.
Yeah.
And I definitely didn't want to, because I was pretty heavy when we started dating and definitely unhealthy, mentally, physically, like very unhealthy. So that was a really big thing for me. It helped me like get back to happy Hannah, which
Yeah.
is from a long time ago. So
Yeah.
super
Yeah.
grateful for
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
What about you, Jeff? What do you think she's changed about you or helped you or?
Just how to like care, just different, just a different viewpoint on the world. Not as so self-absorbed
Yeah.
or selfish as I had been. You
Yeah.
know, more love.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I think
Yeah,
it's
I
good.
don't have,
Oh, yeah.
Didn't have a lot of that growing up. I mean, my mom loved me, but it just didn't hit
Yeah.
the same as
Yeah. Yeah.
Not a lot
Going-
of affection and
yeah, going
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah.
words of affirmation
Uh-huh.
and things
Yeah.
like that.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and that's all
I was more
important.
closed up and
Yeah.
just not, like I said, non-empathetic and sensitive to
Yeah.
feelings and
To
things
feel
like
good,
that.
to feel loved.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it feels comfortable.
Yeah.
It makes my anxiety
That part
go-
feels comfortable.
Hell yeah,
go
bro.
down a
Yeah.
bit. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's
Mhm.
awesome. So business wise, what's happening with you guys? I feel like every time I turn around, you're moving locations.
We're not
Okay.
moving anymore.
We're done there.
I'm gonna
Ashley was
buy-
at your spot, and I'm taking pictures down there, and I saw your spot. It's really nice.
Yeah.
The new
it's
spot. It's so dope.
It's
Yeah.
really nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're there for a while now.
Good.
We just remodeled that spot last year, so I have either 20-year lease on it, or I can buy the building.
Okay.
So
Oh yeah.
that's the plan for that spot. But yeah,
How many artists do you have in there now?
5, including myself. But there's a guy coming from California here in a couple weeks that's moving there full time.
Wow.
Sweet. Yeah.
So we'll have 6 full-time artists, and that was the goal. We have 6 stations.
Yeah.
Six stations.
So you're packed out. So
Mhm.
what advice do you have for anyone that pursues a business and you know the ups and downs? What is a piece of advice you have for them?
Mm,
He ain't had no downs.
I mean, it's not true.
Name them.
Downs? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've
Told ya.
Yeah. Just
Told
keep
ya.
pushing. Yeah. Just
I
keep.
think it depends on what your down is. I mean, you have some people that have not had any kind of like traumatic thing happen in their life, and they fucking stub their toe, and that's a down. for them.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
I think it
for
just
sure.
depends on like what you've been through.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
it's like I've been through enough shit, and to where it's not things like different situations arise that aren't
Mhm.
as stressful.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they've happened over and over and over and over. To now it's just like, well, I know how to handle that
Yeah,
situation.
yeah.
So
What about
I
you?
think
Oh, sorry.
I was like, I said, I think
Yeah.
just put yourself out there
Mm-hmm.
and be willing to just shut the fuck up and work,
Work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and you'll accomplish anything.
Yeah. I
Okay.
love
Just
that.
don't let everything like get to you. I mean, there's people that we had another tattoo shop just opened up down the damn street. Dude came in asking for a job in my shop. He went and worked for my buddy for a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, does that not bother you? Does that not bother you? It's like I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
Our shop is like the most drama-free
Mhm.
shop. We just had a guest artist in town. He's
Yeah.
like, man, it is like super chill in here.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just like that's how it should be.
Yes,
It's like you go
absolutely.
to work,
It's very
you do your-
professional.
You do your
Yeah.
damn
Mhm.
job, like you do good. You talk to people
That's it.
correctly, and then
Go
you'll
home.
succeed. And
Yeah.
it's like I don't overwork anybody. We all work 4 days a week,
Yeah,
you know,
okay,
or 5
yeah.
days a week if you want to. Like you can work as much as you want.
Mhm.
Dope.
And
Mhm.
then whatever you want to do, man, just show the hell up.
Yeah,
You're supposed to
do-
be there and
Yeah.
do a good job, treat people with respect,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and just work.
And it seems like that's such a hard request nowadays. It's hard
And I
for
don't know
people
why,
to
I
just.
love working.
Well,
Going,
you
gotta
going to,
too,
going
yeah.
to work is
Worker.
going to
Yeah.
work for me is like relief.
Yeah.
And then I come home and that's where all the chaos and
Right.
all the shit happens at
Right.
the house, man. I go to work, I'm like, oh,
This is
peaceful
great.
up
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
What about you, Hannah? What's going on with the parlor and what kind of future things you got going on?
I don't
You're
know.
delving into a lot of the health side of things.
Mhm.
Yeah, I got.
Yeah, I'm noticing that.
Trainer certified, nutrition certified. It goes hand in hand with what I do.
Yeah.
So skincare, spa, and all
Yeah,
that
it's
stuff.
perfect.
It goes hand in hand. You know, women don't typically realize that. So I'm more of an educator type vibe. I really want to teach people. So it's not really like a smoke and mirrors kind of thing with me. I don't do the bullshit.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm not into frou facials either. That ain't me. I got other people for that. But
yeah.
I mean, I love what I do. It's just, it's real slow right now. Real slow.
Well, I remember you saying, you know, you're a luxury service.
Right,
So, I mean, if you go the tier of things you're going to cut, it always seems like,
It's gonna be a
it's gonna
facial.
facial.
Yeah.
Yeah, as
For
opposed
tattooing,
to
though, tattooing's like
Yeah.
one of the outliers. It's
Yeah.
a
Oh,
luxury,
yeah.
but people are like, I gotta get tattooed.
It's like
I feel like shit, so I gotta get tattooed.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, or
and the
something's
tax
going on, and they're
time.
like,
Are you
oh,
busier during tax time?
Yeah. This year's crazy though. This
That's
year's
awesome.
hard. No, I'm not. I'm talking about bad.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
no
we're,
one-
we're busy,
Yeah.
but it's not like
It's not like it
before.
usually
I mean,
is.
I'm
Yeah.
booked out till. I'm not even taking appointments, but I'm booked out till August right now.
Wow.
fortunately. I'm usually like 4 to 6 months out
Yeah.
at a time, but I've been here for, over about 15 years
Yeah.
tattooing, so I've built
Yeah.
up a clientele. It takes time to do that.
Yeah.
True. That's true.
But for all my other artists, yeah, they're busy. But as far as like, just like the influx of people that you used to get when taxes hit.
Yeah, yes.
I mean, it was like every day you were like you had to turn people
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
The same
you
thing
know?
with hair.
Yeah,
It's
they're not
weird.
even
Yeah.
showing
It's
up.
a little different this year. So if anybody has a local business and I've spoken with a bunch of people that own local businesses and things, it's the only first time in my life that I've heard that so many people are downsizing or so many people are losing their business, and it's not
crazy.
for lack of trying. These people
Yeah.
are like on top of their shit too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's just the people are saving their money. They're not making money. Everything's costing double. It's just
It sucks.
it kind of sucks.
And the costs are so high for what I do. He's got pretty, I got to get product and back bar and 8
Cost
million
me
applicators.
$5 to do a
yeah.
tattoo.
Right, right,
Or
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But overhead
Overhead is
is
easy.
expensive, but
Yeah.
as far as supplies, she's got to keep way more supplies than I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. So
What-
I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I know. I don't know
I
what
don't
the
know,
future
girl.
holds.
I don't
We
know.
all may be in one building splitting the
I
cost
know,
before too
yeah,
long.
we could do that. That might actually help.
So what advice do you have for somebody that's kind of trying to sort themselves out between the mental things and the business things? Like, what would you tell them?
Well, for sure, you need to be mentally prepared.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's not as easy as it is for some people.
Mhm.
This guy over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I
Ain't
mean,
easy.
you really have to be passionate about what you're doing. And
Yeah.
I am not in my industry, I'm not going to graduate from school and go open my own business.
Yeah.
I worked for 8 years for someone else
Yeah, you
before I
did,
opened
yeah.
my own business.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember
And
that.
it's only because he bitched at me every day about it. Like, why? Because I was driving back and forth to
Fayetteville, yeah.
for 7 years.
Yeah.
But you
Damn,
know
that's
what? Those were the good old days.
Man. See, I made the mistake as I got out and just worked briefly, then tried to own my own place just because of what opportunities had presented. I regret it every day. I wish I could have, because now it's like if I go back and work for somebody, I'm going to feel like I failed, which
Oh,
that's
yeah.
not even.
I'm over the failure thing.
You
dude.
know,
Like,
I don't
sometimes
care
I'm like,
anymore.
let me fail.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's
He's
a
like, "No, you're
lot.
not."
It's a lot.
Yeah.
But you definitely have to be, one, you need to be knowledgeable about what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, the best blessing I had was who I worked for in Fayetteville.
Yeah.
Amazing people.
Yeah.
And they taught me so much. So that helped quite a bit. And I was kind of managing the spa side of that place, doing the ordering, the inventory sheets and all that stuff. So it helped a lot in getting my own place going for sure.
And you do. I do think you, from what I've noticed and just knowing you, it's like you do educate everyone that works for you.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone has to have
if
a
you get
certain
hired,
level
you get
of.
retaught.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah,
Same way.
yeah.
I want everybody to know. I mean, my apprentices, I make them do reports, handwritten reports
Love
on
that.
like old tattooers, and
Nice.
Yeah.
they're gonna
Okay.
know what it is to be a
Yeah.
tattooer. You're not just gonna get your 6-month apprenticeship from a tattoo school and then,
then be done,
go open
yeah.
up a damn shop.
Yeah,
and
we're
not
not
Yeah.
know
trying
anything.
to we're not
Yeah.
trying to put shit work out there either.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and I don't
We want everybody at our places to be the best.
Yeah.
I
Like,
love that.
that-
So when they
and
do,
not
if they
just-
do move on, they will have that knowledge too. I
Yeah.
mean, I think that's
I
great.
appreciate that too in the long
Yeah.
run.
Well, our client, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
it's bad for business. if
yeah,
you're-
your clients deserve
you
that
don't
too.
give a
Like, were they
shit.
going to drop hundreds of dollars and then the facial actually did nothing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is what happens a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
these girls are like, here, let me dermaplane you, put this enzyme on, and burn your damn face off. It'll be great.
Yeah.
And that's
yeah.
not really how it works. I don't
Yeah.
even dermaplane anymore. So
Yeah.
it's like a lot of these little nuances that, and I know everyone's just trying to make a buck,
Just trying to make it.
but
yeah.
you don't know what you don't know. So
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I
Right.
wouldn't be open until you know what you know,
Yeah.
for
I love
sure.
that.
Which it took me about 8 years
Yeah.
to think I knew what I was doing.
know what you know.
It's true. I try to figure. I'm still trying to. I don't know.
You
I'm not
always
the.
figure it
It's
out.
just
yeah.
today's. I'm just not the right person to ask about what I feel like.
I
Because
know, dude,
today I'm like,
same.
you know what, I
It's
suck,
been
and
it's
all.
been a rough year.
it's
It's
been
been
hard.
a really really rough
It's
year.
been
I
hard.
mean, I expanded big time
You
because
did,
we were
yeah.
doing very very well,
Yeah.
and then
That's where my biggest fear is. It's like you want to ride that wave of
Yeah.
like blowing up, and you want to do big things, and it's like, but in my head, it's almost like I always have like that single mom mentality
Mm-hmm.
of like, well, how am I going to support my kids if this all fails and I don't want to have more expenses come in because what am I going to do? But it's just like,
You got the same argument though if you work for somebody
Exactly.
too. What if your business fails?
Exactly.
The place you work
Exactly.
for in Fayetteville doesn't even exist anymore.
yeah,
That
that's
was one of
true.
the biggest places.
Well,
Yeah.
it still exists. It was
Oh, well,
Bought out, wouldn't it? Or
Megan
something?
bought it,
yeah,
yeah.
okay. Well, it's not the same as it was.
It's not the
Right,
same
right,
owners.
right. You're right.
Okay, well,
And I'd rather build my dream than somebody else's dream, you know,
Yeah.
for
Mhm.
sure. I mean, if
Yeah.
I'm going to fail, it's going to be on my own terms.
I don't know, man. I wish it was 1940 and I could stay home and bake
You said
pies.
that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I've thought about that too. I'm like, please tell me what to do and where to go and what you
Hell
need because
yeah.
I'm so tired. Like, I am so tired.
I almost posted this video the other day that I saw. They were pretty big time Bible thumpers though, but these women talking about how they're okay with their man. I tried to make him do this too. Order my food the other night. He couldn't even do it.
yeah.
I did.
Ish. But these women saying like, I want my man to order my meal. I want him to, pick what I eat. And
Yeah.
I'm like, man, yeah, I'm actually all
You're
about
there.
that.
Yeah.
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 Right.
I'm
Yeah.
all about that. I'm
Right.
okay with it.
Well, you didn't used to be.
Yeah, that's when you think like, I'm woman, hear me roar. I'm over that shit.
Oh, I'm over that shit too. Yeah. I'm not going to act like I'm that. I can do it to prove it to you. No, I
well,
can't. I can't.
feminism went from let's get equal rights to now boys play our sports. So I'm not about
I'm
it.
over it. Yeah.
I'm not about it.
Well, where can everyone find you guys? They want to book a tattoo,
Well,
facial.
we're in Van Buren.
You're in
now.
VB. Yeah.
Mhm.
I know this is a diamond in the fort.
What are y'all's handles?
Oh, handles. Well,
Mhm.
Jeff Slack Tattoo
Okay.
on Instagram.
And now
Well,
you post a lot of like health tips and
Me?
things on there too,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah.
Do a lot of that.
I don't do that as much, but
Mhm.
I used to.
It's hard to keep up with social media, man.
That's why I just have Instagram. And
Yeah.
It's just like that's enough. Like I can't do.
Yeah, it's a
We have a
lot.
shop Facebook and a
It
shop
is- it is a
Instagram.
lot.
Fort City Tattoo.
Uh-huh.
It is.
But
Downtown Van Buren, Main Street,
hmm
Fort City Tattoo.
Yeah, right
Sweet.
there.
Okay.
Kind of by the arcade, isn't it?
Well, we're above.
Above
the
it.
arcade.
That's right.
Same
Oh,
building.
Yeah,
oh,
that's
okay,
the whole
that's right.
building.
Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Took a
okay.
part of that out to make the stairs to go up to
Oh,
his
okay.
shop.
Yeah,
I took
looks,
some
it
pictures
looks
in
really
front of your
nice. Like
spot.
I just had a tattoo there, 3 months ago,
Mhm.
I think, and it's
Yeah.
it's amazing. It looks
Yeah.
it looks
Yeah.
good.
Stop
It is
by.
really nice in there.
Yeah,
very proud of
I
it.
need to pop in there.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
should have took pictures in there. If I'd have known
Well,
you were gonna be
I
down
think
there,
it was
I would've told you
closed.
to.
It was on a Sunday night.
Oh,
yeah,
So
yeah.
it was like during that. Otherwise, I was gonna pop in there because
Yeah.
we went in that record store.
Huh?
Those
Yeah.
people are dope in there too. That place
They
is
make
bad.
all
Yeah.
his shirts and stuff.
Okay,
his friend
cool.
Sheehan
Yeah,
is in there.
cool.
Makes
Yeah,
makes
that's
his
right.
merch.
I love that. Where can they find you, Hannah?
I'm in Fort Smith, the Parlor.
Mm-hmm.
PARLOUR.
Love that.
And
Yep.
you got an Instagram page for that too?
Yeah.
I have a million Instagram pages. literally,
and
like
TikToks
15.
and all the things.
I have like 15 pages. Parlor Fort Smith is the shop page, and then I'm Hannah Slack Wellness,
Wellness.
Oh, yeah.
which
Any,
we're gonna
uh,
stick with that for a while.
Yeah, I was about to say, real quick, are you have any plans of competing in the future?
Well, I mean, I did. I had big plans, and then we are taking care of his mother right now.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
So
Maybe this fall.
yeah. Well,
Maybe
you
this
know
fall.
what?
Stay
Yeah.
tuned.
I definitely
Stay
feel like
tuned.
you guys have, like, the world is y'all's. Like, I just feel like you keep battling this together. You guys are a force to be reckoned with for
Thanks.
sure. And I love watching you
Yeah.
guys, and I love your vulnerability. I love your transparency, and I love that. And I think more people should do that. And I think that's success. I do. I think that's
people
success
view
in
it
its own way.
differently, though. Sometimes
I-
people
yeah.
are like, "That's tacky. You put all that stuff out there." I just don't care.
I don't give it. Yeah.
I get messages all the time
No,
about
I
thank you for
think it's-
sharing that,
think
it's
thank you for
great.
being open about
Yeah.
it, especially in the
It's
mental
very-
health stuff.
Yes,
Very
yeah.
inspiring.
Even when I'm teaching or talking shit about something someone's doing wrong in my industry,
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh God, thank you. I had no idea."
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I like the educating portion
When you
of it.
speak, people listen.
Mm-hmm.
They do.
Or they cower.
They do. Too.
I'm
I
just
probably
kidding.
have done that too. You are
I'm
kind of
just kidding.
intimidating. Okay.
I've
You
never
are a
heard
little.
that.
Yeah.
I've never
you're
heard
kinda
that
scary.
before.
A
I
little
ain't scared
scary.
of her. She's all bark.
Oh, no,
bite.
all bark and no bite.
Yeah.
But I thank you guys for coming on. Like I
Yeah,
said,
thank
you
you
guys
so
are
much.
amazing. I
Yeah.
can't wait to see what
I
your future
appreciate it.
holds.
Thank you.
Thank you for advocating for, I'm going to say the underdogs in a lot of ways too. Like people have been through some real
Yeah.
shit and
Yeah.
stuff
I
and
think everybody goes through shit. They just
Yeah.
need to
keep
be
pushing.
more keep an open mind.
Can anyone reach out to you guys, ask
Yeah.
questions,
Yeah, for
get
sure.
advice
Do all
for
the
you
time.
guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind. I've reached out to you before and you guys have always, shot the shit straight.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
really appreciate
I don't
you
lie to
guys.
anybody. That's
Oh,
for sure.
sorry, it's my daughter. But thank you guys, Lloyd, as always, man.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Another
very
great
much, man.
episode.
Like good to have you here.
Yeah.
These are like two of my good friends. Like again,
Absolutely.
I met Jeff through Hannah,
Mm-hmm.
and like she's been just great. Like I love your energy. Like you always inspire me, And
Thanks, Lloyd. I love you.
I thank you for your love and support, like both of y'all.
Yeah, for
man.
sure. Yeah.
We feel the same about you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I picked
You're like
Lloyd
their
up at a
little
bar.
child, their little love child. If they were, you're like their little baby. Man, I want
And
to.
like it worked out great. I love these two together.
Yeah.
And like I think this is a perfect combination.
Let me get my knee fixed.
It's the perfect
first.
combination.
For sure.
I really want to wow.
I don't wanna
you.
work around that.
Yeah.
And I love that they're together. And then I love it. So
Well, it means a
everything
lot. Thank
everything
you.
happens for a reason.
You're right.
Yeah, it does. It does. Well, until next time, Lloyd. I'll see you again on
Party
Fort
on,
Grit.
Wayne.
Party on, Wayne. Party on, guard.
Party on.
All right, that's a wrap.
All right, cool.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Today's episode would not be possible without our sponsors. Today's sponsor is Stainless Innovations, Designs, and Fabric Custom. It's an equipment for front and back of house food service faculties across America. Headquartered here in Fort Smith, Arkansas. To get in contact with them, 479-783-1900. Stainless Innovations, thank you for sponsoring our podcast for today.